So I have a finance client who came in and wanted a YouTube video. So I thought it would be cool if I shared a little bit about. Before I first started, I was thinking a lot about this. A lot of people also ask at the start of doing YouTube, like, what kind of gear do I have to buy? How much money do I have to save up? And how much money am I gonna spend? Is it gonna be worth it? Am I gonna get returns? And blah, 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 stuff like that. So I thought this would be kind of relevant. Before I did vlogging, for example, I actually was competitively gaming. And so with gaming, it was the same thing. It was also, there was gears that you had to get, a computer that you had to get. Then it went on to trying to gain all that money back, right? Then it went on to trying to win tournaments on the weekends, winning competitions, and that's how I get my money back. And you can see kind of like, okay, my public winnings online, it tells you about 10,000. So yeah, I kind of made the money back with gaming for sure, right? Because it was really only the first few gears that I had to buy. After you get a team, the sponsorships come because there's value to your brand and what you're putting out, winning tournaments and stuff like that. Then when you transition over to the video side, I first started out with like a phone, for example. So I started out with something like this. What I would use is I would use like sunglasses. Yeah, I would use sunglasses and I would kind of like anchor the phone like this, like this, something like that to film. The starting cost of it is not super high because I didn't add any cost to it. And so then we move on to wanting to upgrade so that your production looks better and maybe clients are more inclined to want to work with you. And so then I invested into these. I'm not sure what my first client was. I don't quite remember, although this would be fun to know. Let me go see youtube.com. What would be my first ever client? Oh, my first client shoot was actually for a friend and I helped her shoot this graphics card unboxing. That wasn't much, so that doesn't help me gain back anything from a camera. And then the next one, wow, I didn't have any clients. I'm at 2018 so far. So far, I've had a few sponsorships. I've had a few free trips. Okay, I found it. My first ever client video has got to actually be this 3-way challenge, surviving Yangon with $68 a day. That was my first ever, and that was in May 29th, 2018. Almost 2 years. So only after 2 years did I start making back my initial investment on just the camera. We're not even talking GorillaPods, we're not even talking GoPros, drones, none of it. Just the camera, we made it back in 2 years of having invested money into this. Then, right after that, 2 months later, I conquered Mount Rinjani, and that was with Sony. I don't think I shot that super well, but I really enjoyed the process. And then we fast forward, the next job would have been Chiang Rai, February of 2019, so that's like months later. At this point, I started earning back the base cost which I invested in to my gear. So YouTube isn't easy, and I think with a lot of hobbies there is so to say a sunk cost at the start where you invest a little bit into it to try to expand yourself. With gaming, it was definitely easier. So with gaming, it was keyboard and mouse, right? Let's say like 200, 300 bucks. I didn't have to put in anything more. I think the only thing was I invested into a computer, which I also kind of took off. Like my friend gave me one of his old computers and I just added parts into it, so that was another $1,000. But the moment I win my first major competition, my first ever earning was in 2012, WCS. First major earning was in 2012, $300. That gets me back my base amount, and I'm pretty sure I played a year before this, right? And then the next one was in IEM, 2012, the same year, 650, 300 later. Then it's all the online cups, and then my first major win would have been in 2014. Once again, in 2 years. So 2 years later, I earned back everything that I spent on the PC, that I spent in any kind of gear, little bits of expenses I had to spend with overseas tournaments. Right here. That got me back my money. What's the point of talking about all this? Because I think with a lot of passions and a lot of people like wanting to try stuff, definitely money is one thing that holds them back. And I would say at the start, try to limit how much money you want to expose yourself to. Like with me, when I first started, my first 40 vlogs was just on a phone. So I didn't spend much money when I had to venture out first, so you don't feel so bad, and when you start earning some AdSense or when you have a little bit more savings, you can put out even more. But don't worry about taking the risk, because the money eventually comes back. If you keep hustling, if you keep going at your craft, the money eventually comes back. I mean, if you make it. Obviously, within those first 40 vlogs, with me vlogging on my phone and it's not good, I wouldn't have went out to buy a camera. If I can't improve my craft with just the phone, I wouldn't have gone out to buy a camera, because it's not about the gear at that point, if that makes sense. Okay, so whatever I said kind of links back to investing. I myself started investing early this year. I used to always just save money with my mom, and she'll pay me an interest while she pays off her own investments, so that was how I used to do things. I would say I'm doing okay. Alright, some portfolios are down a good 20%. I have a portfolio up 60%, and some up 5%, some down 5%. So it's definitely not easy, but I'm very much enjoying my investing journey just because of how much I'm learning and just saving money in general. So there are tools to help, which brings me to the sponsor of this video, SYFE, to help you save money. Hilarious. SYFE is a platform that can help you invest. Okay, I definitely wish that I started out investing with an app like SYFE. First of all, it's much easier to use than many of the trading apps out there, because you can just head into portfolios and then just choose a portfolio that you're comfortable with the gains that you want to see. And on top of that, you need minimal knowledge, because they already curated and they've created the portfolios for you. All you need to do is just top up money. And best part is, there's no minimum amount. So if you want to start with just $10, which we're going to try right now, you actually can. I actually don't believe that you can only top up 10 bucks, but that's pretty crazy. So the thing is, when I first started out, I had a tough time picking stocks, finding the right things to invest, and I was making a negative return for a long period of time. With a platform like SYFE, it makes it much easier for you to control exactly where you want to invest, because they've done the research, they've created like balanced funds for you to invest into. You feel easier, especially when you're starting out with investing, and if you're comfortable with the returns, then you just add on more as time goes on. And there's no lockup period, so if you want to take money out at any point in time, you have the freedom to do so as well. Do note, the higher the return, the higher the volatility or risk, so different kinds of portfolios depending on your risk appetite. And finally, if you're feeling advanced and smart about it, you can even create your own portfolios using their SYFE Select. There are different kinds of themes, or you can even like create your own one using the custom tab. So there is a knowledge tab as well, which this is my favorite part, which there are guides to learning how to invest, advice from beautiful and handsome people. I think investing is very important, and I think the earlier you start, the better. But this brings me back to what I said at the start. Invest what you're comfortable with first. I didn't need to start out with a camera. I started out with a phone, right? I didn't need to invest into all that gear. I invested into it after I felt more comfortable with the craft and comfortable with... And that's the same for investing. Invest more only if you start feeling comfortable with the market. And secondly, be patient with it. Sometimes you don't see the kind of returns you want in 1 year, or sometimes you don't see it only until like maybe year 2. For some people, it even takes longer than that. For me, I don't try to fight fate. You know, proven track record, it takes me at least 2 years to earn back my money. I don't try to make like a lot of money overnight or in a few weeks, that kind of thing. Some people have luck, some people have the skill. I just want to find some place good to place my money and let it work for me over 4 to 5 years, 10 years, rather than every day I need to go look at charts, need to study this, study that. This is a good platform to get you started first before you start venturing into different things. So I have a promo code for this as well. It's Thomas20 when you sign up. So you get a bonus $20 if you invest $1,000 or more with SYFE. So yeah, you get an instant 2% return. I guess that's it for the video. Shout out to the sponsor once again. Do check them out. The app itself is free to download, and you already get all this like information on the knowledge tab and all that. So if you're even thinking about investing first, just go download the app. Why not? If you guys like financial stuff or would like me to start talking and sharing about my investing journey and what I've learned, let me know down in the comments below. I definitely think it's something fun that I wouldn't mind sharing about. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Kate, take it easy crew. I'll see you guys in the next. Bye bye.